Well, hey, you guys. So since I am part of this world of personal finance, I always love hearing what other experts are teaching in this field. And a lot of us agree on really basic things, which is I appreciate, right? I mean, there are things that, pretty much anyone in this space, it's like car loans, not smart mathematically or financially. Like a lot of people agree on that. Maybe investing strategies are different. Maybe even the way we talk about debt is different. But I always find it interesting, people's nuances when they're teaching about money and their perspective on it. So whenever a book comes out around money, I usually try to read it. And my neighbors kept talking about this one book, and I was like, I've got to read it. It's called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. And listen, y'all, it was a really interesting book. And I would say like 85% of it, I was like, all right, I could get there. So today I want to talk to you about some of my takeaways from that book, maybe a few ideas that we kind of differ on. But again, I think it's always important to learn, to grow, to understand people's perspective, because it could kind of shift some of yours in a good way. And I'd be curious what you guys think. So be sure to stick around to the end or drop your thoughts in the comments. Okay, like the title suggests, the main concept is to die with zero, which makes me very nervous already. But listen, he argues, the author, that says, normally you would just leave an inheritance or money that you've, been saving your whole life. And maybe you have it designated to your kids, or maybe you have it designated to charity or whatever it may be. But would it be more fulfilling in your life if you actually did those things while you were alive? So there's a statistic that I heard recently that said you actually need the most money when you're around like 26 to 38, because that's when people are putting down payments for homes. People are, replacing cars. They're paying off their college debt. Like that age time period is really expensive. So he would argue, instead of leaving an inheritance to your kids, why don't you just give them some money now that's going to help them in their life propel forward, which I thought was really interesting. Now, before I share the main points of the book, I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. So when you go against what society thinks is, quote, normal, like avoiding debt, for example, it might seem weird at first, and that is totally okay. We want you to be weird if that means that you're doing things intentionally, including how you spend your healthcare dollars. And one way to be intentional is with Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM isn't health insurance. They're a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours take care of healthcare costs without sacrificing their freedom. So find out more and join at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. Okay, so I want to break down kind of the three main ideas that I took away from the book and the pros and the cons of them. So, number one, he would say we don't need a bunch of wealthy 70-year-olds who are now tired of traveling. And actually, when it comes to their day-to-day life, there's just not that much, that they need to spend money on, but yet they could potentially have millions and millions of dollars. And what their plan is when they die, they're going to pass that on, to their kids or give it away to charity and all of that. So the interesting thing with the kids is, what if you just started giving them more money now and let them use it in their current lives? Like we said earlier, a lot of them in their 20s and 30s, if it's there, they're going to benefit from that money, I would say even more in that age range versus, if they die at 80 and you hand it down to your 60-year-old kids, well, they're fine at that point. Then it's going on to the grandkids. So if that makes sense, I really did. I was like, man, I love that idea, because part of changing your family tree is helping your kids. And again, it's a very fine balance, because you don't want to just throw a bunch of cash at your kids. And again, not everyone has that ability to. I understand that fully. If you're on the baby steps, you're probably thinking, okay, Rachel, that's great for someone else. But if you have that mindset, there is something about intentionally, when you give money or spend money that your kids are able to use for assets or for themselves, it's a really beautiful thing. Now, the con is that your kids still need to build character. There's dignity that they still have to work and they still have to provide for themselves. So it's almost like you don't want to give them so much so they don't have to do anything. But could you give them enough while you're still alive to help them start off on the right foot? It's an interesting concept. All right, number two is, if you're planning to donate a large sum of your money, do it now. So he would say, you get to see the impact of your generosity and be able to see what is happening in the world from your generosity. And again, instead of waiting to die with possibly millions in the bank, if you're investing all of that, you don't get to see that. And I'm like, man, there is something powerful. If you want to do something with that money and help people, help them in today's world if you can. That's why I'm always pro giving, right? We always talk about that even on the budget. It's like the top line item, but this is like more of a magnified idea. So give even more and don't just wait till you're dead. I'm like, yeah, I like that. Now the con is obviously the average person, we're not Bill Gates and don't have massive amounts of money to like throw at places now. But again, it's more of that concept. Can you live more in the present with your money instead of waiting for decades and decades down the road? I don't know. It's a good question. All right, number 3 is enjoy your money earlier on. So a little disclaimer here, because I never want to say that you should just rack up tons of debt and go do whatever you want with your life. No, because that's going to end up bringing you less happiness and less enjoyment. So again, this book, there's parts of it that I was like, okay, this is for people that, maybe further down the road, financially speaking. But his big point was, again, instead of this hoarding mentality and saving, kind of that scarcity mindset, that you're thinking, okay, what if you just spent some of it? And y'all, I am here to tell you, like, we talk to people on the Ramsey Show who are on baby steps, 4, 5, 6, even 7. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared to spend money. And we like ask them some questions. And there's been plenty of calls that I'm like, go on a cruise, like go spend some of your money and enjoy it and do it while you're able-bodied and you're able to go and do things and experience things. And there's just something beautiful about doing that with people that you love. And, I think about like going to concerts. And if you have the ability to be like, yeah, I'm going to buy another ticket and bring a friend with me, right? Or traveling or like whatever you want to spend money on. Again, I lean more experiences. I think you get some joy out of that than just buying a bunch of like purses. But there's something about saying, okay, I don't want to have this scarcity mentality. I want to be able to enjoy some of my money. And we want you to do that. We say live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. And that's part of that second part of the statement. But instead of waiting until you're 80 years old to start enjoying it, enjoy some of it now. So I really like that. Now, the con of that is the baby steps. We never want you to put that on the back burner. I want you to progress quickly and efficiently with your money. And so some people could read this book and be like, oh my gosh, she's telling me just to go and spend everything I have and enjoy my life. So that YOLO mentality, it's somewhat there, but I want you to have a strong financial foundation and the actual margin to be able to do it. But that's what I love about the baby steps is it can get you there, in a reasonable time. So the author, he's kind of a little lukewarm on like 401ks and that kind of thing. And I'm the opposite. I do think generational wealth is a beautiful thing. And I would not recommend trying to die with zero. But I loved that it stretched me some. I think it did give me permission to a degree to be like, okay, yeah, let's go and enjoy it. Let's go and do that. Like, I don't know. There was something about it that was freeing to me. But I would say read it with some, with some warning. I think, again, some people could read it and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go and just cash out everything and just live my best life. We want to be wise. We want to be smart. And I would not want to go and spend or give all the way down to zero before I die, because that is scary. You want money, up until you're dead for sure. And if you had some left over, that's good too, right? So again, there's just this different concept, which I really appreciated and I liked. So I'm glad that I read the book. And I would be curious, what you guys think about it. And, I had Dr. Arthur Brooks on the show, and he did talk about ways that money actually does bring joy and happiness. And the one thing it doesn't is when you just buy a bunch of stuff, that materialism and all of that. So when I hear him say that, and then I read this book, I'm like, man, there is a beautiful thing of giving today, enjoying your money today, maybe helping your kids more than you thought you would today if you can. So again, there's some great stuff, but the reality check too is after years of working the baby steps, that foundation still has to be laid first. Now, if you thought this episode was interesting and you want to check out my episode on the book that changed how I think about money, that one is next. Remember, you guys, to take control of your money and create a life you love. We tend to do two things when we compare ourselves to other generations around us. We either kind of just like throw shade, or we put them on a pedestal and we're like, they did everything so well. But like most things in life, usually the truth is somewhere in the middle. So today I'm going to be sharing 7 unexpected financial lessons to learn from boomers. Thank you, boomers. There are some good and some not so good. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. All right, first and foremost, we need to learn not to rely on Social Security. Social Security was never meant to take care of every expense for every retired American. Especially with our generation, it's not something that we fully should be dependent on, because depending on who you read, it may or may not be there when we retire. So again, this idea of taking control of your money and allowing your decisions to really dictate your future and not depending upon a program to do that. I mean, honestly, it's like this level of having the discipline to say, hey, I'm actually going to plan out my life. And when you do that, that is a way more practical, wise, and stable way of looking at money for the next chapter when it comes to retirements. Funding retirement, you want to start that once you are completely debt-free and you have a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then 15% of your income should be going to retirement. And when people are funding retirement, if they are, majority of Americans aren't, but if you are, it's usually a pretty low percentage, like 4 or 5%. And so when you get to that 15%, you catch up a lot because you'll pause retirement savings while you get out of debt and save up an emergency fund. So don't worry, that freaks you out. It's okay, because that 15% is really going to set you up well, which is what we want. Number 2 is to start saving earlier. This is something boomers always say, that they look back and they think, gosh, I wish I had saved more money. And the most lucrative years of your career typically are in your 40s and 50s, because you really are established. You're probably making the most at that point. And then usually when it gets to that point in life, you're like, okay, I'm going to start saving. And they wish they had started saving in their 20s and in their 30s. And again, some people, they, are living in the moment, and that's totally understandable, because you want some great experiences. You want to, pursue different things and travel and all the things. But don't wait until you are in your 40s and 50s to really start buckling down and saving. The earlier you start, the better off you're going to be, especially when it comes to investing, because of compound interest. The earlier you start, the better off you're going to be. And the truth is too, once you get to that age, to actually have the money to be able to do the things that you want to do sets you up so well with a lot of peace and control. Number 3 is live modestly. So a lot of people panic about the middle class disappearing, but what if it still exists and we all just think that we should be living better than we do, right? So if you think back to boomers and their lifestyle and the way that they lived, when you looked at the average square foot house, if you were raised by a boomer, you probably can appreciate this, that it was like, yeah, you shared a bathroom, you shared a room. Like, not everyone had this like glamorous life growing up, which I feel like is what's presented in today's world, that if you don't have certain size house, certain level of vacation, certain car, whatever it is that somehow you're failing. But you do look back on how boomers were raised, and even when they raised their own kids, it was still a pretty modest lifestyle. And I'm going to say it, but it is true. I think because of social media didn't exist, we had nothing to compare it to. But now there is so much of this comparison because we're seeing the insight into everyone's life. And so again, it may look like everyone's doing great. We don't know the whole story of what's going on with their lives and their money, but they survived, the boomers did, living more modest, and you can too. So honestly, the expectations, like, let's bring it down a notch or two. And that's what they would say, continue to live modestly. Number 4 is to pay off debt. 2023 retirement research from Boston College found that several forms of debt have increased since the 1990s. Mortgage debt, student loans, medical debt, and credit card debt. And if you have a boomer in your life who seems to just be living it up in retirement, remember that many kinds of debt were not normalized in their generation. So when they were going through school, which granted, it was much less expensive than what it is now. Tuition was like nothing. But they didn't even think about taking out student loan debt. You had a credit card, but it was really just for emergencies. It wasn't to maintain the way you spend money. When you look at everything when it comes to the debt industry, it has increased over time. And now it is so normalized where boomers, again, they use some debt, but it was not like it was today. And some of them have gotten into debt and they're having to get themselves out. But for the most part, this idea of living debt-free is possible because they were doing it early in life, and you can too. So another way to make sure that you're not wasting your money just for any reason is to make sure that your personal information is safe and away from online scammers. Scammers are everywhere these days, you guys. Your information is public. We do so much online. I mean, everything from our shopping and our banking, like our lives are online, and we're putting our information out there almost on a daily basis if you're signing up for things. And so what happens is companies will take your data and sell it to data brokers, and then they end up selling your data as well. So people are making money off of your data. And when that happens, you are way more likely to get scams. And so Delete Me is amazing because it is a subscription that goes in and actually removes your personal information from all of those data broker websites. And it is incredible. I use it. My family uses it. I love it. And you can save up to 20% off a Delete Me plan, which checks out around $9 a month. So click the link below or go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel and get signed up. Number 5, a lesson to learn from boomers is to take your health seriously. In the 1990s, the anti-smoking ads were everywhere. And as a millennial, you were scared to death of cigarettes. There were other things, right? Those are mine. But cigarettes were like so scary, so scary. But what you have to realize is that there are other things in life, right, that we consume, that we use. And what you don't realize is over time, that does affect your health and you end up paying for it. So prioritizing healthy choices in your life really does help you when it comes to your money. Sadly, medical debt is the number one reason for bankruptcy in America today. And sometimes we can't help, that stuff comes upon us for sure. But what we can do to take care of ourselves as much as we can is going to help in the long run. And when you think about, again, into your 60s, 70s, and 80s, like the healthier you are, the better life you're going to live with all that retirement savings you're going to have. You're going to want to enjoy your life. So listen, do your best. It's not going to be perfect, but taking care of your health is something that we can learn from boomers. Number 6 is to find a job you actually enjoy. So I'd be willing to bet that most of your parents stayed in the same job their entire career. And if you had a solid job that you love, that's great. A lot of people have stayed in the same company for a really long time, and that's wonderful. But there was more of this mindset with boomers of like, this is what you do. It's 9 to 5, you make money, and you do it as a means to an end. Where nowadays I feel like we are way more in touch with understanding how we're wired, what our passions are, to actually enjoy the jobs that we have. And I'm not talking about skipping around every 2 years. Don't try to job hop all the time, but to find something that you say, yeah, this is fulfilling and I actually make money doing it, right? That is like the perfect mix. Ken Coleman always talks about this kind of stuff because it is so key to having an overall joyous life because we do spend many hours of our lives working. So having work that is purposeful is really important. Number 7, the last principle to learn from boomers is to stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. So now we have keeping up with the Kardashians, but back in the day, it was keeping up with the Joneses. But for the boomer generation, and again, before social media, when you're keeping up with the Joneses, it was people that you saw in person. It was people you're going to school with, or you saw at church, or your neighbors. But now keeping up is so much bigger because it's people we've never even met or that we will never meet on possibly the other side of the planet that we're seeing their life. And so that comparison, again, is so real. And so the mantra of don't keep up with the Joneses came from the boomer generation or even before them. But it is so true today. So true today. A harder mountain to climb today, I believe. But it is still so key because if that comparison is in you and you're constantly spending money trying to keep up, you're going to be unhappy and spend a lot of money that you don't need to spend. And some people go into debt for all of that. So put the blinders on, focus on you and your family. Be happy for people. It's great. It's great what they're doing. Be happy for people, but honestly, focusing on you and your family, it takes a level of maturity to kind of cancel out all the noise, but it is so crucial to you winning with money long term. So we talked a lot about retirement savings in here. And if you are curious, think, okay, yes, there are boomers in my life. They are at retirement age and they're not able to retire. I don't want to be that. You can actually go to our Ramsey Investment Calculator, put in some numbers there, and actually just kind of map out and see, okay, how much do I need to be saving every month so that I can enjoy retirement? So I'll leave a link for you to plug in your current retirement savings down below. And again, to reach your retirement goals, because we can learn that from boomers, right? Retirement is going to happen whether we like it or not. And for more easy hacks about money and life, make sure to check out this episode right here on 7 valuable life lessons that I swear by. And I'll put a link in the show notes if you're listening on podcast. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. All right, today I have my favorite person on the show, Winston, my husband. We've been married 15 years, and there's a lot there, when it comes to money and marriage and working together as the same team, but yet appreciating what we each individually bring to the table. kids, raising them in today's world, all of it. So we're going to chat about all of that, and make sure to stick around because later I'll share some details about one of my favorite events coming up that you don't want to miss. So make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, let's get started. Well, hi, babe. Thanks for being here.
Hi. It's good to be here for the first time.
I think it is your first time, right?
Yeah. I've never sat on this couch.
Okay.
Yeah, never been here.
Well, welcome. Thanks for coming.
It's been a long time you've been doing this.
Long time coming. I know. People have been wanting you. And it's happening.
Well,
it's great.
We worked a deal. Found it. We did it.
Paying them by the hour. Okay, so money and marriage is always a topic I feel like creates conflict with a lot of couples. And I feel like it's like even the one piece of advice of combining your finances is like the one place I get attacked the most, like especially on social media and stuff. As we talk about money, we've been married 15 years, and money in our marriage and relationship, like I'm curious just from your perspective, like how important is it to work on the same team and to say, yeah, we are one in this area of life, even though we're opposites. So we come at it differently, but seeing yourself as a unit versus trying to keep everything so separate and still like running on your own track.
I couldn't imagine seeing it a different way where we would be having separate accounts and separate ways of spending. Like I've always seen the benefit of like two horses can pull a lot harder and faster than one horse. And so it'd be very strange if we were, running different races and trying to achieve, even if the goals were the same and we weren't doing it together, it just feels like the worst idea of a team that you could come up with.
Yeah.
So it's a team sport. This is not like golf where it's like, all right, you keep your score, I'll keep my score.
Yeah.
Because we're going to end up in two different places.
Totally.
Like inevitably, we'll definitely end up in two different places. I'm trying to keep on the same scoreboard, and I think it's, what I think it is?
Tell me.
I think people want to do their own thing.
Yeah.
I think they just want to say, no, I want to do what I want to do.
100%.
And so it's much easier if you do, you know what? You do what you want to do, I'll do what I want to do. That is avoiding having to look at yourself and do work. That's what it is. So I hate to project into why people would want separate checking or separate financial goals and strategies, but it's easier that way.
That's a good point.
It's easier that way.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We don't even have to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I forget who said it, but it's like you're climbing a ladder your whole life to realize that it was up against the wrong wall. And I think there will be a lot of people that get to the end, if they do, because if they're not doing money together, they're probably not doing a lot together.
Yeah, sure.
If they do get to the top of the ladder, then you're going to be over there on that wall, and I'm over here on this wall. And it's like
we create two different lives almost.
Well, this is a bad decision. So
this isn't good.
Those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. And I think what's hard for people is that opposites attract. So you do come at it differently. And so for us, I would say that is true. So keeping this balance, and I think this is true probably in all of marriage, but we're using money as kind of that filter of looking at this through. Because there's something to be said about keeping your own you as an individual person. Like you were created uniquely, right? Like there's something about you that is unique and we don't have to conform to the same person, but yet we're trying to work on the same team. So it's like that balance of appreciating and knowing the opposite. Like you're a saver, I'm a spender, you're a nerd, I'm a free spirit. Like the way we go about purchasing, what we purchase, how we think about spending or saving naturally is a little bit different, but yet we're working as the same team.
It's very different, but it's not a ball and chain. Like you marry an individual and then during courtship, humans are professionals at self-presenting in the perfect way.
Courtship, doing dating?
Yeah.
You're so formal. So great.
Oh, sorry. That's not. It's not the audience. Probably.
We didn't court.
No, we dated. But you're my person. You're my person.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm relative again because you're my person. I'm relevant. Okay.
But when you're dating, we're really good at presenting.
You're presenting your best self. You're doing everything you can for that person to soothe you, and they're doing the same thing so you can soothe them. And then eventually you come back around to realizing, where am I? Like, where is my individuality? And so you say, oh, I'm going to actually celebrate what I bring to the table. I'm a saver. you're a spender, and that provides great strengths and also provides great challenges. But it's not a ball and chain where I'm always like freaked out and frustrated that you're going to spend too much, or you're freaked out and frustrated that I'm super boring and can't spend to have fun. Like, you bring both to the table and work it out.
Yeah.
You know, it creates it's a stronger balance. It's more diversified and more of a mosaic than it is like, oh, we have to be the exact same person.
Yes.
Like, that's enmeshment. That's not going to get you to where you want to go.
No, I know. Yeah. So it is that balance of in marriage
and courtship.
In courtship, courting, to be able to, to know each other's strengths and weaknesses and almost see it as a gift of what you're saying. And I think that can be really hard sometimes for couples if money is a major tension point for them in their marriage. But
it's hard because we want what we want.
Yeah.
And to try to see it from your spouse's point of view is denial for a second. It's scary. It's like, oh no, I'm going to lose myself if I just try to hear what they're trying to say or the way that they're coming at this thing that they want to buy or this new goal that they have. But that doesn't mean you're forfeiting.
Yeah.
You're just letting them bring their strength to the table, and you better bring your strength to the table too, you know? And that's what makes a really good decision.
Okay, before we go on, let me tell you about one of our incredible sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. Health insurance costs are only moving one way, and that way isn't down. The wait times are longer, and it's harder than ever to get anything approved. So if you feel like the system is working against you, try Christian Healthcare Ministries, a biblically based alternative to health insurance. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours take care of healthcare costs, stay true to their values, and avoid getting tied down by miles of red tape. Y'all, there is a better way. CHM programs start as low as $98 a month, so find out more and join at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. We talk, I'd say we're pretty good at setting goals. We usually have like bigger goals that I feel like last like into a year or two or even more. And then once we do it, it's like, okay. And then we kind of chill for a little bit and then we'll do it again. But every year we kind of do a check-in of like, okay, where are we at? We usually do that in January. But what would you say to couples out there that don't talk about this stuff? They really don't look maybe towards the future, even in like a year, right? Like, I mean, even that's kind of short term nowadays, but like, even a block of time where you're like, okay, yes, we need to do this together and do it well. How important is it, do you feel like, to be on the same page and to have something that you're shooting for? Because we don't, I'll say this, we don't always have like a goal. Like there isn't always like a thing.
Yeah.
And if there is, it usually lasts a year or two and then we do it and then it comes up something else. But
right. I would say the times that you do have a goal, you don't have to have a goal, but I would say, be real conscious of that, because if you don't have a goal, but you kind of have this fantasy or this vision of what you think life's going to be in 5 years or 10 years, then I would say don't be surprised if it doesn't happen, because the times that we have had a goal in our marriage financially are when we're the most synced up and also the most efficient.
Yes, I would say
like
that.
it actually moves faster. Your money, you get more wins. You're more efficient with it. You make more progress when you're chasing something.
Yep.
So you don't have to have one, but it is really motivating to set something out. It could be a month, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, it could be 5 years, and back your way out of it. You know, a lot of people would be going all the way out to, all right, when are we going to be empty nested?
Yeah.
And then what do we want to do? What do we want our monthly income to be like when we retire? And you can't build a plan. You can't even start to put legs to it if you don't know what the end of that vision looks like. If you can't
picture it
within detail, within reason,
Sure.
you know, you're not going to know down to the dollar, but where do you want to go? Some people just start with like, all right, let's just start right now. And you can't. You don't even know where you're going.
Yeah.
Which direction.
Yep.
How much. So I would say it's extremely important, but you got to, doesn't matter what it is, but just put one out there and watch how efficient it is to get there.
What I think is fun too is just the idea of dreaming together about what that future is. Like those are always fun conversations to me. Like sometimes
That'll really expose your personalities.
we
That'll really expose like.
well, and we do this.
What is it like? Your money just shows you more of who you are.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
You start talking about how you want to spend it in retirement.
Yeah.
You really get to know like what your passions are.
Yes. But I think that's fun though. Like when we've done those dates.
It is fun.
Where you're like, take money off the table. What would be what's ideal in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years? And we do just kind of sit there and like, we don't like write it down. It's not like, oh my gosh, we have to be like, we're like that. This is the plan, but just allowing yourself to dream.
Yeah.
Like I want to travel the world for months at a time in retirement.
And I want to walk my dog. You know, it's like, it's a window into our passions.
Yes.
which is good to check in every once in a while.
Totally.
I think you're still going to want to travel in 20 years.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm
Does it bother you that I book
getting
vacations
there.
on vacations?
Yes.
I do that a lot. If you're like on a trip and you're like, where are we going next?
I'm like, we're not even done yet. We haven't even paid these people.
I know.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. I always talk about contentment and comparison as like my trap in life because I'm always like kind of looking for the next thing of like, okay, yeah. Do you see that play out like in my purchasing and in my how we do money?
Yeah, a little bit.
My Amazon purchasing.
No, yeah, those are like microcosms. Travel is like right in your face. It's real big and obvious.
Yes.
Where it's like, you are living in 2027, you know? But then I think you're a forward thinker. You live in the future.
Yes.
And
yes.
I live in the present but just by personality.
Right.
So not right or wrong. I mean, so I had to buy that daggum 12-foot calendar, dry erase calendar, so I could see the whole year because you were booking things out that I couldn't even see yet in my mind.
Yes, I know.
And I had to be like, hold on, I don't even know. We probably have like 10 things on that day.
But can't see
but
it.
I can't see it.
I know. We have a massive dry and erase 12-month calendar in our laundry room. It covers the whole wall. Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Great purchase.
You're welcome so much.
Great purchase.
Yeah.
But we see it. And everything's color-coded. So it's great. We feel organized.
Yeah. So to anybody who feels like they're resonating with me, it gave me a little bit more like visibility, which gives me a little more control. When I can see it, it just gave me a little more control.
The visual, yes.
Where it's like, okay, it's not too crazy. It's not too busy. Fall, spring, whatever, holidays.
Yes.
I can just see it, which helped me say yes to more things. It's like a budget for a calendar.
That's
How
exactly.
about that?
You know what? That was my talk at Money and Marriage.
No, it wasn't. Did you steal that from me?
No, but it was
Your calendar is your budget?
basically how you budget. You can do the exact same thing with your calendar and your time.
Unbelievable. How long have we been married?
I know. Unbelievable.
Shoot.
15 short.
Okay.
Years.
So the calendar is a budget for your time.
I know. It's perfect.
And we didn't budget with a 12-month calendar for a long time.
For a long time. But that has helped us though. And then in turn, I feel like it does
gives
make
me
things.
some security.
Yes. From a scheduling perspective.
So go get you one if you have like a cranky old husband who's always freaked out about too much busyness.
So we're just too busy. Too much. No, pulling back though has been good. I feel like we've done that. I feel like we've done that more in recent. I haven't overbooked us too much.
Yeah.
Recently. It's been good.
No,
Sports have killed
Sports.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of sports and kids.
Oh, wow.
When you think about kids and money in our family, what are those dynamics like for you as a dad? Challenges, things that you feel like, we could probably do better there, or we're doing that pretty well. Like, that's good. Like,
I have problems because I always think, like, if I see the kids get something or an Amazon box, like, I parent way too much out of my own childhood, right? So
we all do.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the beach once a year in a minivan, and no Amazon boxes to the door. But I remember the first guy who bought deodorant on Amazon, and this was like 10, 12 years ago. He was an early adopter, and I thought, you're kind of weird. That's really, you're kind of strange. Why would you ever buy deodorant shipped to your door? And here we are. You know, I mean, it's the way that we do life right now. So I think the example that I'm using is when stuff comes to the door, it doesn't matter if it's deodorant. You still get a little bit of that dopamine where it's like, there's a box at our door and I'm going to open it.
There's something in there
and
that's
it's
new.
Dove soap, you know, but it's something. And we're opening it and the kids are there. And so you kind of see this, I don't know, it freaks me out a little bit where they're so used to things showing up at the door, material things that I know what it's doing to them chemically.
Yeah.
And it's this little buzz that you used to have to go to the store if you did something great, good grades or whatever when you were a kid, and pick out something, you know, and then hold it till you got home. And, you know, it's so fast and so consumer in 2025 these days. So that's my biggest, like, I'm excited for them to get to the age where they can earn their own way. Like legitimately earn their own way.
Like go get a job.
Like,
and like,
I'm no longer the guy who's going to fix your broken toy.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to deal with it or save up. There's a dishwasher over there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm kind of experiencing right now.
That's good. The consumer side of raising kids today. And that's true with anyone, with any income level situation. I mean, it is.
If you buy your deodorant on Amazon.
Yeah.
Which I would recommend. I mean, I would recommend. It's very convenient.
Yes, totally. What is a lesson for the kids that you're like, this has to be instilled in them or it's not going to be good?
Well, money comes from work. That's my kind of number one fallback. I appreciate the sentiment that you want to find the perfect balance between what you're good at, passionate about, and makes money. But, you know, just go multi-yard. Like, it's not going to be that beautiful all the time. And even in our generation, I saw it start to happen where people would stay at home. Even after graduating, they would come back home and they would just be waiting on that perfect job. And I don't care if it's perfect or not. You're going to have to put in the time and put in the hours. Do the grind.
Yep.
Get that first check and feel what it's like to have earned something that you can put in your bank account and choose to do what you want with it. That's not going to be your perfect like
scenario. Yeah.
Intersection of passion and money. So
yeah.
The work thing is big. The generosity thing is big. Mine. They're at that age right now where it's so possessive, which is normal. But eventually they will have to raise their eyes up to see other people. And I think that starts with us too. I think they will just mimic what we see.
Yep, totally.
So that's, instead of tossing the toys, let's bag those up and take them somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's get those clothes and take them to the people that just had a baby or whatever it is, you know, and like actually show them how to see others.
Yeah.
And not just Amazon.
Yeah. And not just Amazon. God bless.
Yeah.
You know.
What about you?
Good times, bad times.
What do you want them to come
the
with?
kids, yeah, the work thing is big. I think there's just dignity in that with what you're doing with your life and making money that way. But, and I'd say gratitude.
Yeah.
Which we make them say thank you a lot. Like after.
Kills me if they don't.
We cook dinner or something. It's like.
Kills me.
What do you say to us? We like make them tell us thank you. But yeah, the gratitude piece.
Doesn't just.
People that are just grateful in life, like happy to be there, you know. I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for this. There's just something wonderful.
It's a posture of receiving.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I get what I want all the time.
Yes. Yeah. So the gratitude thing's big for me, I think. All right, hope y'all enjoyed that. And I mentioned earlier about money and marriage, and it's one of my favorite events that we do here at Ramsey. And so this year, the Money and Marriage Getaway is in 2026 over Valentine's Day weekend. So this is just a great time to get away with your spouse. Again, life is just nuts. And so it's sometimes good just to like go away, be together, and you're going to learn things. We teach from stage. We also do a lot of interaction with the audience. So there's a lot of Q&As. There's a lot of time to talk with your spouse about the things that we're talking about throughout the weekend. But it's 2.5 days, again, of interactive teaching, live Q&As, and all of it. And so we just create this incredible experience over a weekend. And it's Dr. John Deloney and myself. And it's one of our favorite events that we do here at Ramsey. And so this past Money and Marriage, it's completely sold out, y'all. So we do these and the tickets go so quickly. So the next one coming up is happening February 12th through the 14th of 2026. Early bird tickets start at $749 and prices are going up soon, and that's per couple. So it is so worth it. It is a great weekend. People that come, they rebuy for the next year. And so it's an incredible weekend to experience with your spouse. So make sure to come. Get your tickets today at RamseySolutions.com/events. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and make sure to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So recently on the Ramsey Show, we've gotten so many calls about financial infidelity. And what this can look like is everything from like a spouse hiding something, or even another spouse calling in and being like, I don't have access to our accounts and all of this. Like, it's just crazy. Like, the whole money and marriage thing can be so dysfunctional. That's why I hope that we can bring some function and healthiness to this topic. Now, this topic does come with a small disclaimer, because I'm not here to make you paranoid about your spouse, that they're keeping secrets and all of this, okay? And I'm not saying every single thing we talk about that you can like pick it out and be like, oh my gosh, something bad is happening. So everyone take a deep breath. But with that being said, I want to go over a few, we'll say orange flags to look out for when it comes to your spouse and financial infidelity. Now, they may be nothing, but they also could be good reason for maybe some conversations, to maybe start communicating more directly with your spouse when it comes to this topic. And it never hurts to just get ahead on deeper issues in life, right? So we're going to talk about 5 warning signs that your spouse might be guilty of financial infidelity. And stick around to the end, because I'm going to be sharing one thing that I'm convinced every couple needs to do when it comes to their finances. All right, the first warning sign to look out for is not having access to an account. So this is, again, several reasons that this is wrong, okay? But this idea that your spouse can keep something like an account, and for some people, even their checking accounts they run their household with, separate, and that you don't have access to it, okay? That is a major red flag, because in my opinion, marriage, you are one. In every aspect of life. Like, there are no secrets, okay? And people may be like, oh my God, Rachel, but no, I have access to phones and computers and bank accounts. Like, you are one living this life together. So that is a very, very red flag for me, to a point of financial abuse in some cases that your spouse won't let you see in. Or if you guys have your money separate and they're like, well, this is my money over here and you don't need to look at it. Red flag for me. The second warning sign that there could be some financial infidelity is, again, if your spouse keeps pushing that they just want to keep things separate. And this is a common excuse that I hear a lot. And I hear for some women, like, well, I just want to have independence on my spending. I don't want him feeling like he can like watch over every little thing I do. And then some guys are like, I don't want a nagging wife and I make this money and I get to say and do what I want. Like, whatever it is, okay? It's this idea of completely living separate. And so my question would be the why. Why is that? Now, maybe you're on a second marriage, and the first marriage, your spouse took everything financially, left you in a hole, and there's a lot of wounds and scars there. Totally understandable. I do think there's a level of health that I would want you to work through to get to another conclusion there. But there are reasons people do this, right? So it doesn't mean that they're completely, committing financial infidelity. But if there is this abstinence, I'm not going to give you a good reason of why I just want to keep things separate. I would definitely raise a flag. And let me just say, you don't lose your independence when you get married, to a degree that you are still you. Like, you are still an individual. Even with therapy, I'm like, go do your individual work. Like, you're an individual person. But when it comes together of living life and running a household, though, that's where the team aspect, I think, is really important. All right, the third warning sign that your spouse possibly could be committing financial infidelity is if you have to ask permission before you spend anything. So if your spouse says, hey, I need you to tell me every little thing that you do with money and I need to see it, there's a little bit of a control issue there. Okay, so the way you can combat this is to have a budget and that each spouse has a line item, right? I have a line item, Winston has a line item, and I go and spend. I go and buy Target skirts, and I go and do what I want with that money, right? And that's not a bad thing. And if Winston wants to know and ask, I'm not hiding anything 100%, but we've already agreed on the amount of what we're spending. And so that to me is the important part of, hey, this is where our money's going. Now, if they are hiding what they are buying, that's one thing I would be concerned about. Okay, why is that? But number two, if they need that much control over you, I think that there's a level of unhealth there that you have to tell them every little penny you've spent. I don't think that that's a point that is good. But I think, again, what bothers me is that you have to ask permission. It's like you're getting an allowance, and it's like more of a parental relationship than a spousal relationship. So that's a red flag. All right, before I share the rest of these warning signs, I want to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. And that's Christian Healthcare Ministries. So CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs. And it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. And with no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. So find out more at chministries.org/budget. The fourth warning sign is if you spot weird charges and your spouse gives you really vague explanations. Again, secrecy in marriage, not good. It's like a cancer. It's poisonous. It's toxic. It will slowly eat away at the trust that you have within each other. And it's terrible. And so, again, if either one of you feels like you need to hide something from the other, that lack of honesty and transparency it's a threat. And even if something is truly just innocent in the terms of infidelity, think about why you need to keep that Nordstrom's shopping spree, away from your husband. Like, why? Ask that. Or, if you're a guy and you go out and you buy some new electronic equipment or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I can't tell her about that. Those are questions that I would say, why? Start digging into that. All right, the fifth warning sign is finding a bill or a statement from an account, service, or card that you don't know about. Again, this is another example of that financial secrecy because you both should be involved and have full access to your accounts, saving, investing, checking, you name it. And you should know about those accounts. So that's a big one. If there is a secret account, in my opinion, that is a red flag. That is financial infidelity. All right, here's the thing. I do not want to scare you, right? Or convince you of what your relationship is when it's not that, okay? So have some grace. I remember I had this lady come up to me one time and she was like, oh my gosh, my husband totally hid all these purchases from me. And I was like, oh no, what happened? And she literally was like, well, he went to Chick-fil-A 3 times last week. He never told me and all this stuff. And I was like, there may be forgetfulness on one spouse's end, okay? So there's some grace here. I don't want to be legalistic about it. But here's the reality. Money continues to be a common conflict within marriage. So I want you to be on guard. I want you to stay ahead of miscommunication. And if mistrust starts to build up over the long run when it comes to money, it's going to seep out into other areas of your marriage. All right, I want to share with you my number one tip for married couples and what you need to do together when it comes to your money. And that is Financial Peace University. So this is our 9-lesson course. And if you and your spouse have not taken this, sit down together and just binge the videos. Be able to say, hey, we have done this together. We are on the same page. We are using the same language around money, the same plan. It's a really amazing thing. And Dr. John Deloney and myself, we're going to be covering the benefits of all of this when it's getting on the same page with your spouse when it comes to your money at our Money and Marriage events. So we have a couple of fun things going on. So here in 2025, our Money and Marriage getaway is coming February 13th through the 15th. And so if you want to secure your spot, go to RamseySolutions.com/marriage. And if you haven't checked out my episode on 5 areas that can make or break your financial success with Dr. John Deloney, make sure to check that out. All right, you guys, as always, make sure to take control of your money and create a life you love. All right, you guys, it's warm outside. It's feeling great. I feel like summer is here. But also, this is the time of year where the comparison trap is real. So we're going to talk about it, how to recognize it, and to make sure that it doesn't sabotage your peace or your money. But first, let's just have a little come to Jesus moment. Okay. Social media, you're going to be scrolling, and you're going to see, pictures full of people's, travel, days at the pool, running with their kids through fields, being out with girls' night on a rooftop bar, like whatever it is. Okay. You're going to see all the fun of people's lives this summer because it is fun. All of this is great. But please just remember, again, I'm just giving you like what you know, but it's just the truth. So we need to say it out loud over and over and over again. You don't know the full picture. Okay. When you see someone's life, you're just seeing that one snapshot that they've chosen, by the way, to put out to the world. So remember that. And I'm not saying everyone's walking around being all fake and stuff. It's not that. It's just there is a curation happening and we need to say it out loud. And so what you're not seeing are, the fits that the kids are throwing. You're not seeing, maybe the stress of like that girl's trying to figure out her outfit and she's got frustrated and all this stuff in her closet. Like you don't see all these parts of people's lives. You're kind of just seeing that. Just the best, just this picture. So always give the person that you're seeing in that social post grace. Give yourself grace. And for me, one of the best ways to just practice contentment is to focus on what I am grateful for my life. It's so easy to live through someone else's life. Live through your own and be grateful for it. That's one reason I wrote the contentment journal, because gratitude is such a massive part of our rewiring of how we live life. So gratitude, humility, contentment, all of that is in the contentment journal. I'll put a link down below if you want to check it out. But this is something that is so crucial to you winning with money. So that's our little come to Jesus moment about social media. You know it. I'm just going to say it again. Now, what can you do if you feel like you are trapped in this like spiral of comparisons? Well, number one, just pay attention. I just want you to be aware. What is going on inside of you? Understand like, okay, if that feeling of jealousy comes up or anger or frustration or like, oh, this or that or envy, like when these emotions come up, recognize them. And I would say this too. Don't be like, oh, I shouldn't feel that. Go. No, just be with it for a second and be curious and figure out like, okay, what is going on within me that's causing this? Is it the person themselves? Is it the life that they're living? Is it what's missing in my life that I feel like they have and I don't? Like start just asking yourself some questions. Then number two, start to pivot. And I want you to, be aware, be conscious of what's going on inside of you, but then realize we don't want to stay there for an ever and ever. Amen. Start to turn your eyes towards, again, that gratitude, like what we talked about, because we want you to like, again, not just numb away that feeling, but also we don't want to stay in it forever. So recognize, hey, I'm going to live a life of gratitude. And I'm going to say to myself and point out, this is what I'm grateful for my life today. Be present where you are. And then number three, just a little challenge. Remember who's watching you. Okay. You have people around you constantly, whether it's family, friends, a spouse, your kids, especially. And people are interacting with you and knowing what's going on. And so I think, especially on a friendship level, like have those people in your life that you can have these conversations with. That's great. But especially if you have people that are looking up to you, like there is something to be said that if you live in a life of comparison and stress and jealousy, people feel that from you. They know that about you. And it's not a very attractive quality, right? So again, getting to the root of all of this is so big, but remember those eyes that are watching you. All right. Before I share my number one tip for stopping the comparison spiral, I do want to share a tip about healthcare coverage. Christian healthcare ministries. Health insurance costs are only moving one way, and that way is not down. And wait times are longer. It's harder than ever to get anything approved. And if you feel like the system is working against you, try Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a biblically based alternative to health insurance. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours take care of healthcare costs, stay true to their values, and avoid getting tied down by miles of red tape. You guys, there is a better way, and CHM programs start as low as $98 a month. So find out more and join at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. All right, the number one thing I want you to remember as we're fighting against the comparison trap this summer is every tax bracket has its challenges that you will never see. kind of what we were saying earlier, that you don't see the full picture, but you have to remember, we do not know the details of people's lives. That influencer that you're watching, you have no idea the family challenges that she's having. You know, that person that's like taking some exotic vacation, you have no idea the health issues that they may be struggling with. You know, your friends who it seems like their kids are always behaving, they're always like on their best behavior and they're just so great and all of it. You have no idea what's happening behind the scenes and the frustrated morning they had, right? Like, we're not seeing this. And so money does not fix it all, you guys. It does not fix it all. So sometimes we can glamorize certain people's lifestyles. But remember, there are things that are going to happen in life that money cannot buy, money cannot fix. And so recognizing that people struggle all day long. They do. There are people that are struggling relationally, with health issues, spiritually, I mean, all of it. So just knowing, again, giving that person grace in the picture that you're seeing, giving yourself grace, just to know we're not seeing the full picture of this person's life. So just celebrate them where they are, be grateful for your life, and continue to make that a cycle. Now, we've talked about the tactical ways to kind of pivot those feelings, but to really understand the heart issue behind comparison, I want you to check out my video, The Real Reason Everyone Seems Wealthier Than You. You can click here, or if you're listening on podcast, click the link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So if you're like me, you've probably seen a lot of self-care culture going around social media and on the internet. So whether it's your nighttime skincare routine that you see or self-care shopping day, people love to treat themselves. And listen, I'm here for it. I think it's great. And I say it every week on the show. But again, I want you to create a life you love. But don't forget the first part of that sentence, because that matters too. To take control of your money and create a life you love. And in order to create a life you love and have joy and have peace, again, you have to take control of your money first. And in the mindset of so much comparison culture, and especially when it comes to social media, it can be really tough to have some discipline when it comes to this. So today I'm sharing with you my financial self-care routine. So it may not involve splurging on a fancy face mask, but trust me, what's waiting on the other side is so much better. And stick around to find out what I mean. And at the end, I'll share one product that I do recommend you spend money on when it comes to financial self-care. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I'm fine financially. I don't really need any self-care in that area. So first, if that's you, let's just look at some statistics and see if you relate to any of these. So 3 out of 4 adults say that they often or sometimes feel stressed when it comes to money. And as of last year, 34% of Americans say they either are struggling or are in crisis over the state of their personal finance. 49% of Americans say that they have at least $1,000 in savings, but 33% report having no savings at all. And these numbers just prove that money is a pain point for a lot of people. And over a third of Americans actually feel like they are in crisis mode. So did you know that research shows that we as people actually react differently in our bodies when it comes to a crisis? Now, some people may exaggerate their communication response, aka you might get short with your kids or your spouse or your friends. People may revert to instinctive fight or flight, aka maybe you might be avoiding a problem altogether. Maybe you dig yourself deeper into debt. Some people feel anxious and guilty, hopeless, even confused. You know, like you're just too embarrassed to even ask for help because you don't believe that, you can pay off all this debt. So I don't know about you, but those feelings I never want anyone to feel because it seems really hopeless. But listen, there's always hope, and a little financial self-care goes a long way. But before we get to the ultimate financial self-care routine, it's important that we're all on the same page about the basics. So if you know Ramsey Solutions, you know that we are all about getting out of debt. We're all about budgeting. We're all about having an emergency fund, investing in retirement, paying your house off early, saving for your kids' college, building wealth and giving, all of this. These are all in the baby steps. And it's something, again, it's a plan that we really do believe in. So that's kind of our philosophy when it comes to money overall. But once you're familiar with the baby steps and you're actively maintaining them, then it's time to level up with some financial self-care. So here are 5 crucial steps in my own financial self-care routine. Number 1, track your spending and be honest about where you need to make adjustments. So we have EveryDollar budgeting app. And so Winston and I, we do this. I mean, almost daily, I'm looking at where we're spending our money, and our EveryDollar app is connected to our checking account. So every time we swipe a debit card, it goes into EveryDollar. That little bubble pops up. We click on it, and I drag and drop to whether it's Costco or groceries or Amazon or kids' school lunches, like whatever it is. I sit there and honestly track every part of our spending, which may sound crazy to some people. It does not take long. And again, to be able to maintain a budget, you have to know where you're spending. So if you've never done a budget, try it out. And also have a miscellaneous category. That's always one of my number one rules when it comes to budgeting, because stuff is going to come up throughout the month that you did not plan on. Buying wiffle balls for the kids this summer. We needed wiffle balls. I was like, oh yeah. And it's only like $12, but we are very intentional about where all of our savings go. So, you just throw some of that in miscellaneous and you're good to go. All right, number 2, keep savings in a high yield savings account. So once you are in a place where you are saving up for an emergency fund, baby step 1, and or your fully funded emergency fund after you've paid off debt, a great place to put your savings is not just in a regular savings account at your bank. Look for a high yield savings account. So with this, there may be times that, if you take too much out, there's some fees and all of that. So you really want to make sure that you know the parameters around your high yield savings. And this cannot be like your checking account, right? But if you put money in here, you're going to get more of a return. And so where traditional savings account is like 2%, if that, on like a good year, high yield savings accounts were going up to like 5-6%, like crazy amount. So make sure to put your savings there and let it build over time. Number 3, check on your investment progress. So I would say do this once a year. People that look at their investments every other day stress me out, because the truth is the market is going to do this. And the goal for your investing is that it's long term. So whether it goes like this one day or this one day, it doesn't matter overall, right? Day to day, you let it go and then check once a year. And we sit down with our investment professional every January and look at it all. And even this last January, we actually changed some stuff of what we were doing, just some little tweaks here or there. But it's just good to look at an overall picture, but don't look at it all the time because it's going to freak you out and it's not worth that stress. Number 4, stay ready for tax season. So if you are someone that needs to keep receipts because you have a business or you have some different records that you want to keep when it comes to filing your taxes, make sure you're doing this, because there can be so many write-offs. And then when it gets to April, you want to be able to take advantage of that, but you don't want to have to go and track everything down. So as the year is going, be thinking ahead and say, okay, what do I need when tax season comes? And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the one product that I think is actually really worth it when it comes to your financial self-care is Financial Peace University. So this is our 9-lesson money course, and it walks you through the proven financial practices when it comes to building wealth. And it's really easy to sign up and get started, so I'll leave a link for you below. But part of financial self-care is learning. Continuing to put more in your mind, learning from people, seeing what other people are doing that are actually working with a long track record. And that's some advice that you can take. And that is Financial Peace University. And if you've never seen me walk through my paycheck routine, make sure to check out that episode, because that's really going to help you when it comes to budgeting and all of this financial self-care. So remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.